Don't look him in the eye. Do not look him in the eye. By the way, these are just a small representation of the cast. Well, a big representation, but there are some people that are missing because they're working and they couldn't be here. One of which is an old buddy of mine who, well, he sent a message for all of us because he couldn't be here. So let's roll that message right now. Open up the questions. I know you guys have a lot of questions for these guys. Let's get right to it. Where's our, there we are. How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm doing great. Next question.
Okay, my name's Jasmine, and I'm trying to see, will we ever see any characters from the original heroes coming back as recurring characters?
Well, I think the trailer kind of answered that question, and I'm standing up here, not for my help. Jack's here, but you want to talk about exactly how this happened? Just briefly,
well, yeah.
Who could you get, who couldn't you get?
Well, it really wasn't a matter of who we could get and who we couldn't get. It was really what the story was dictating, and as we were breaking the story, when we started to think, well, wouldn't it be great if Matt Parkman came back in a different kind of way than before? I picked up the phone and called you, and that's how kind of how it works. So it was sort
and
of
I went, Tim, I'm sorry, I don't know who this is.
So that's kind of how it worked, and we were able to get, you know, obviously Masi and Greg and Christine Rose and Sendel Ramamurthy, and
yeah.
So, you know, but the linchpin from the former cast was Jack and his character, and you know, from watching the first series, you know, HRG was kind of a hub character that a lot of the other stories spun off of, and so it was really important for me to bring him back, and also telling that the only character that sort of came back in that way was the character that didn't have any power. So
powerless, utterly powerless.
Right, the only one who survives. Next question.
There's a lesson there.
Hi, my name's Chris. I'm a big fan of the show. I've been following it since day one. But we saw through seasons 1 through 4, everyone discovering new powers and new people. But now we're seeing this new season, they're being hunted, and now it looks like HGR is trying to save them.
HRG, it's okay.
Sorry.
MSG. Just not PMS, please.
By the way, Tim, who is Skylar? Everybody asks me about Skylar. So, what's your question?
What are we really expected to see? Is it going to be very different from what we saw from previous seasons, or kind of following in a similar direction?
You know, the basic premise, because the world knows about these people, you know, it changes the story considerably. Before, in the previous series, when you discovered you had a power, it was almost a kind of a mystical, like what's happening to me, and a whole journey of discovery. Now, because if you were to wake up with a power in our story, it would be a very, very bad thing, because you would know that you were going to be persecuted and exploited and all of that. And so it takes the basic idea of the show and it cranks it up a little bit, puts a little bit more stakes and a little more drama.
And when you think about it, the way we went off the air was kind of the best pilot possible. You know, Hayden's character saying, we're out here, and revealing this to the whole world. Like, I think it's really exciting. I've seen a lot more than you guys have seen, and I gotta tell you something. This show is back, and it's gonna be amazing. So, Tim Kring has done an amazing job. Next question.
Hello, everyone.
Spider-Man!
For Mr. Zachary Levi, my question is, you played my favorite Disney prince, and you have a great... Did you have career goals such as music before acting, and will you ever incorporate your singing voice into future work again?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up doing a lot of theater. I was just a little theater
nerd spaz, and I did as much theater as I could, and I did a lot of musical. There's another Spider-Man right behind you. I don't know what's happening. There were so many Spider-Man. And I love singing. I just love singing. It brings me a lot of joy, and I love doing musical theater, and so I would like to do more singing. It's always a matter of, thank you very much.
Yeah.
5 people are like, I did that, I'm into that. But it's always, life is time, right? It's real, figuring out how do you divvy up that time. And right now, the time what was presented to me was this. When this project was announced, that Tim was making Heroes Reborn, I was a fan of the show. We got to be on NBC together on the same night, and I loved playing Chuck, and was always kind of really secretly envious that I couldn't fly or shoot lasers from my eyes, although I did know Kung Fu. And we got in touch, and Tim and I talked, and to me, that felt like the best use of my time for right now, and I'm still trying to convince him to let Luke sing. So,
Well, actually, Zach does sing every day in his job. It's just that we have to tell him to stop singing when we
We got in trouble for that.
And we drag him out.
karaoke.
I was going to say, we drag him out for karaoke regularly, so he's taking very good practice.
Henry also has a beautiful Henry has a fantastic Yeah.
Yeah, mine is it's a taste. I'm like Meatloaf meets Shania Twain.
That's just how you love.
I have a question for Mas.
Yes.
Mr. Masi Oka, how are you, my friend? Masi, honestly, creatively, I know you and I stayed very good friends,
Yes.
and Masi is the reason why I've been on Hawaii Five-0 a couple times, and we've had some really good... You're amazing. What was your first thought when you saw the promo? You probably were way ahead of everybody and knew that the show was coming back, but not just because you could travel time, but because, what was your first thought?
I thought it was just awesome. It's a show that was dear to our hearts, and we had a lot of fans, and we kind of left it kind of unfinished. So just to see that, it was like, oh great, there's going to be another series, and just a chance to wrap things up, at least for the fans, and bring it back. So it was very cool. I just hope that they would call us and let us be a part of it.
I know, exactly, when that phone rang. Some of us went off and did other projects. Other people stayed loyal to the brand and said no to everything, hoping that phone would ring. Toby McGuire, is it? Who is this? Yes, your question.
I'm Matt. Just wondering, obviously there's a big 5-year gap between the last season and the new season coming out. Is there any chance that we're gonna learn about what happened between that, like with people like Silo and Peter and Claire, and possibly see them again?
This is a really fun idea that there is this big gap that we need to explore, and some of the kind of ancillary stuff that we're doing, the universe that we're building around the show, and the games and the books and all, does all of that. But that is a big part. A lot of that does get unpacked in the show Heroes Reborn. We do sort of unpack what happened in the previous years. So I think by the time you watch the finale, episode 13, you'll have a big chunk of that answered for you.
And I got to tell you, for people that want to catch up, the app, it's no joke. This is an amazing app, the Heroes app, and all it is a love letter to you guys. It is so well built and so well done. There's so much video content. You can do it by character, you can do it by episode, by season. So check it out before September 24th, because it'll catch you right back up where we were, and then, obviously we jump
It has Dark Matters on it as well.
Yeah, Dark Matters is incredible. The app doesn't have any coupons, but whatever. It's awesome. Next question.
Hi there. Thank you for bringing Heroes Reborn back. With a great show like this, there's great music, and so with Jack Coleman's bar scene, we heard My Morning Jacket's Chills. What other great bands are going to come back on this new soundtrack?
We're sort of still in the works with all of that, because those things don't get finalized until it airs. But as you know, the show was very interested in music before, and Wendy and Lisa are back doing our score, which is
that's awesome.
And with them comes a whole bunch of opportunities because they're kind of like, rock star royalty in Los Angeles, and so you get access to a lot of really interesting new bands. And we always liked actually breaking new music that people hadn't heard before. And so, I'm sorry I can't announce any of it right now.
Tell us a little bit more about HRG now.
HRG now, well, 5 years later, he, trying to live a more of a suburban, quiet life out of, off the grid, which only lasts as long as this wild man with a ginger beard down here shows up in the middle of the night to torment me. And there's a certain incidents in my brain, my memory, which are lacking, and he's there to fill in the gaps I don't necessarily want filled in.
And then who shows up to rip your brain to shreds?
Well, there's a guy that's always trying to get inside my brain, trying to find out what happened. That cop from LA. Yeah. Matt Parkman.
I have to say that was incredibly cool. Like to go and go back on the set. Everybody has been amazing. It was strange, honestly strange. Going back, I don't know, Masi, Jimmy John, you can talk about this, but to go back on a show that you were so incredibly lucky to be a part of, and it really changed my career, and it introduced me to whatever 7,500, 8,000 of my best friends in this room. It really was such a blessing, Tim. I thank you so much. Going back, it felt like putting on an old jacket again. It was great.
I have to just quickly tell you when when Greg came up and did the first scene, I was standing off camera. And we had just sort of joked and talked before, and sort of camera rolled, and he did the first scene, and you looked up at me, and I looked at you, and nothing needed to be said.
Yeah.
It was like this instant sort of 5 years disappeared, and you were back to playing that character.
Yeah, it was like the time we met at TGI Fridays. I don't know if you remember. We looked across the bar, and nothing needed to be said. That was it. Next question.
Hi, yes. When you guys finished Heroes the first time, or took a break, there was a lot of expanded universe, comics, some web content. How much of that are you keeping canon, and how much are you just gonna Star Wars wave it away? Star Wars pretty much. Yeah, they didn't cut my mic.
No, the answer is that the canon of the show remains intact. This is very true to the, to the mythology and the core canon of the show. We're not deviating from anything. So it's all. We really want to honor anybody who spent that much time watching that many episodes.
Yeah. And Star Wars, I can't talk about it. Next question.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you all for being here first. My question is for the entire cast. If your character on the show could have a superhero name, what would it be? Oh, goodness.
Colin.
Well, let's start at the end.
Yeah.
Masi.
Superhero name?
I mean, you're already a hero.
Like a moniker, you mean? Like a...
I don't know what. No. Bad motherfucking Chronos?
How can I top that? Shit.
That's a good one right there. Shit, here it comes.
I have to say, I came up with mine in the elevator on our way up here, and I'm like, oh, if I can say it out loud.
Oh, sure you can.
No, I don't think I really can.
No?
No, I don't think so.
It's on the DVD extra.
Can I? Vagina. Super vagina. Say it.
Super vagina. That was my nickname in high school. That's awesome. Keep it going.
I think I'd probably call myself the Burrito Lord.
Oh, goodness. I was not prepared for this. Something that has G's in it, because my name's Gatlin Green, so... Is that good?
Goodness.
Is that good? The girl.
Oh no, it's the girl.
Spit it out, man. Who's coming? Great Grunberg? No! All right, come on, baby.
If it was related to my character, I'd simply call him the
magician.
Oh, nice. Don't say about it.
I'm gonna keep it PC because pretty much everyone else did.
That's cool. That's cool. Who's next?
I don't even know. I would need some time to think about that. I've had this entire time, but.
Well, I'm gonna get your drinks and then I'll come back and give your order. Okay. Let's keep going, come on.
I would be Miss Badass.
Oh!
Maybe El Grande.
I love that. Zach?
I would call myself Benedict Cumberbatch.
Tim, you've never answered this question.
I didn't think I had to. El Jefe.
Sports heroes often thank the big man upstairs. I always do, but he's the guy in the office upstairs, and that's who I thank for giving us this opportunity. Masi, you brought something with you, didn't you? Some special clip that you'd like to show?
The clip? Yeah, you guys saw an awesome extended trailer. We thought you might want to see a little bit more, so... It's a little bit from my character, dusting off the sword and doing a little bit Darth Maul style. So, want to say that? And do we cut to the clip?
I think we remind these people September 24th, NBC, Heroes Reborn.